I am back!
It's pretty late, don't you think? It seems a lot later than usual today. I felt like I was waiting forever.
There was an incident that broke out with one of the new hires. Our whole department has been working really hard to try and get them on board. So it has been difficult to leave on time lately.
Really? Is it that bad? What kind of incident happened with them? It seems like you've been in over your head. I'm sorry if you feel bad about it.
It's making me a bit flustered because they got a bit mad at me, but there's not really anything we can do about it. We should be understanding that it must be difficult for them as well. There is so much strife between new hires and their first workplaces. It's always like that. Everyone else is trying to be really understanding too.
It must have been really hard on you to have to go through this again. Do you think that they're almost there?
I will need to check again tomorrow, but I'm sure it will get better soon. Have you eaten yet, Isaac?
No, I was waiting until you were able to get back. I didn't want to eat anything until I could eat with you.
Then we should eat something. You must be hungry. I didn't mean to keep you waiting. You should have started something for yourself to hold you over.
I am. I've been home for a while already. It's okay. I know that it's important to you for me to wait until we can eat together. I don't mind it at all.
Then let's eat something. I think it is good that both of us put a lot of effort into getting to understand each other, even before we got married. It feels good that you understand me well. It feels good that you thought to wait for me.
Me too. I'm glad that we worked out so much of our personalities at the beginning of our relationship.
What do you want to eat? Is there something that you've been craving? I'm trying to think of something we haven't had in a while. We have been cooking in a lot, so I don't know why it's so hard for me to think of something.
I think I could go for some pasta. That always tastes the best in this time of year, and I know that we tend to like similar things after work.
Pasta? That does sound pretty good. But where do you want to order from? This is your neighborhood, so I don't really know what a good restaurant is around here. Is there a place that you order from often?
What do you mean by order? I thought you would have wanted to make it yourself.
What? Why would I want to make it? I mean, of course I know how to make it, but I wasn't thinking that I would have to be the one to do it.
Because you can make it better than anybody else could at a restaurant. I was waiting for you this time to come back home and make it for us. I'm okay with anything as long as you're the one to make it.
I just got back from work. I don't want to have to make anything right now. That would involve getting all of the veggies and everything ready.
It couldn't be that hard. Pasta is the easiest food in the book. And you know how picky I can be. You know how to make it just right.
It's not exactly the hardest thing to make, but come on. I just explained that I had a hard day at work. If I started it now, it would be a while until it'll be ready to actually eat.
It'll take all of 40 minutes. That's not long at all. I thought cooking was relaxing to you. It's not actual work like you need to do at the office.
If it is so easy to make, well, then you should do it. I don't have enough energy to lift even a finger right now. I'm not sure how much longer I can bear to argue about this even.
I mean, I shouldn't be the one to make it. It's your responsibility. We agreed about this.
My responsibility? Why would it be my job to cook it? Or to cook in general? You know how to make everything just as well as I do. What did you do before I moved in? When did we agree on this?
We agreed that you would divide up the housework. You do the cooking and I do the cleaning. We split our loads right down the middle. I'd gotten home earlier than you, so I had time to clean. So now it should be time for you to do your half.
Well, I guess we did agree to that. But I had already talked about being so tired from work. Why would I have to cook dinner now? I don't have the energy for that. Could we just order in? I'll pay.
Are we gonna start splitting up our finances now that we're married? If we keep ordering food out, then we're gonna run out of money. We need to learn to live together and manage our money together. We need to learn how to save money too. If we just blow it on whatever, then we'll be in trouble in the future. It seems like you're a bit lazier than I thought.
How could you just say that I am lazy? Hey, look who's talking. You got home a lot earlier than I did. If you had known you were going to want to eat something specific for dinner, then you had all the power to start it yourself. Why did you think that waiting for your exhausted wife to get home to make you food would be better? I'm not really in the mood to make dinner right now.
How could you be so tired to not be able to make a simple dinner? It just seems like you're trying to evade your part of this deal. I don't really like the thought of that trend becoming more consistent. We decided to split it down the middle. You promised and everything. You should have found a way to make yourself less tired when you felt it happening.
Isn't wanting to order food in one way to evade my exhaustion? That's how a lot of people live. We make money in order to spend it on what would make our lives easier. I don't think spending money on one meal out every few days is going to make any dent in our future savings.
I get that, but we should be counting our pennies more than those people, only to the extent that we can make an easy dinner ourselves. Isn't that how a lot of people live as well? By spending less money on what they know they could do just as good themselves?
I mean, that's not really what I said. We don't go bankrupt if we order food in every once in a while. No matter how well we are able to adhere to the agreements we once made, if there is anything that happens in our personal situations that would cause us to fall short of that, then we should be understanding of it. Is that not what the average spouse wants to do for their partner?
Partners are supposed to keep their promises. What is most important here is that we agreed to do something. It's only fair if we keep that promise to each other. How could we break the most simple promise we made? I want to live with you, or live a fair life at that. I don't want to have to sacrifice these unilaterally for you.
Why? This is all coming from just wanting to order in food. How is that fair either?
I don't want to have to explain any more than this. Do you still need a clearer explanation?
Jeez, Isaac! You can't just give up like this. Why are we having such a petty argument anyway?
I wish that you had tried a bit harder, Sarah. This is our future that we're talking about.
Isaac, I get where you're coming from, but why don't we talk about this again after we have had something to eat? Let's just order in this time. We can talk again after we get more comfortable. I don't want to have to argue about this given that we are in the middle of the situation. I think we would be better off looking back at the situation so that we can talk to each other while we are more level-headed.
All right, but only this time. I didn't think every time we talked about food we would get into an argument.
The movie was really good, wasn't it? It really surprised me. I'm glad we ended up picking this one and didn't go with the safe option we were looking at before.
Me too. I didn't have any expectations going into it, but it ended up being really immersive. I couldn't look away. Yeah, it was a bit more experimental, but I'm glad that the movie industry is taking risks. I enjoyed being familiar with the actors too.
Me either. But it was really quite long, so I am glad it was at least good to support it. I'm really hungry now. Do you want to go and get something to eat?
Sure, I think you paid for the tickets, right? I'll cover dinner then. Where do you want to go? I haven't decided what I'm in the mood for quite yet.
Oh, really? Sure. That sounds okay, I guess.
Why are you being like that all of a sudden? Do you not want to go? We can always look in a different area if there isn't anything around here that you like.
No, it's just... I don't mind you doing that, but it's hard for me to hear.
What? What do you mean? I can pick if you don't want to. If I'm paying for dinner, then I guess I can choose where we go too. I just thought we could do the payment separately, but we could still ask each other what each other wanted, but we are really just using the same money, given that we are dating.
It's not that. I bought the tickets for the movie, and now you want to buy dinner for us? Don't you think that us going halvesies on everything we do sounds a bit weird? I don't really like having to talk about money so much, let alone on a date, and here we are trying to bargain who is paying for what. Shouldn't we have decided how to do this earlier, and then maybe we wouldn't have had to talk about it right now? It seems like every time we go out, we have to talk about money. It kind of ruins the moment. I don't want to have to walk out of a movie and then have to be reminded that we are paying for everything we do, and even separately at that. Maybe I am the one that is just not used to it. I'm sure it is fine.
It is good to be fair in any relationship. If I were to pay for everything for one person and they didn't want to help us out and cover anything, I think that would be the strange thing. That would be the kind of thing that all conflicts arise from when it comes to power imbalances. It would end up feeling like a mother and son relationship rather than a partnership. It's good to treat the other person fairly to avoid this. If we go on playing fair like this, then we can avoid other power conflicts like that. We are only talking about money so often because it's how we're going to build our future together. Dating takes money, and living together will take money, and marriage will take money. I like spending time with you, so I'm willing to discuss problems as they come up, not just when they explode late down the line because we couldn't do it while it was happening.
I think that makes sense, but it still feels weird to have everything we do be cut so cleanly down the middle. I'm not used to that. We should be able to pay for things for each other and not have it feel so transactional. I am sure that the dinner will end up being more expensive than the movie was. Even if we are paying for things that might feel like it will end up being equal, I still feel like I get the brunt of the payment on my shoulders most of the time. We can't just volunteer to pay for something and then it ends up being the other person that pays for most of the experience after all. Well, I don't know. I wish there was a way that we could establish boundaries, but at the same time have it not feel so transactional. I should ask my friends what they do with their boyfriends. I have never heard them complain about this with me. They all seem to be doing just fine with their boyfriends.
Well, then how about we both contribute to a date fund? That might help this feel a bit more natural. I'm sure that some of your friends are doing it too.
What do you mean? What would a date fund be? Like we open a new account and dedicate money to the nights that we go out? Like we set money aside for it?
It could be that we both contribute money when we can to our dates, even though we both don't have to pay for something every time we go out. Instead of us having to bargain like this the moment of, we could have a set fund that we contribute to at the beginning of each month. One of us could just swipe the card where we go, and we wouldn't have to worry about whose money is being used where, because it would automatically just assume that we're contributing the same amount of money. I think it would help with the imbalance you're feeling. It would help us know that we're both using money equally on every experience. And because we're still doing it together, it would never be imbalanced. We buy 2 tickets to see a movie, so that is easy to see how it's split. We two would go out to dinner, and we would order our own portions and eat however much, and we would never feel like we're taking advantage of the other person.
Date fund. I have heard of it a few times before, but I have never been the one to try it out. I think I would be open to it if you think it would be a good idea. It doesn't seem like such a weird idea. I mean, we both have bank accounts that we take money from, so if we were to just transfer some into the fund, then it wouldn't feel like that big of an investment. One payment becomes double because we are both putting money into it.
Then I think we should take the opportunity to try it out. I don't think there could be anything that goes wrong if we were to try it for a little while.
Are you sure? I don't even have any close friends that do that with their partners. How long would we do that for? Would it transfer into other areas of our lives?
Yeah, think about it. Is there any other way that could make this fair? This seems pretty democratic. Besides, don't we pretty much have the same salary? I think this could be the way that we both are able to meet in the middle about our views on money for each other. All relationships ebb and flow with how much effort each partner makes. This could take the financial pressure off while we figure things out.
I think it does sound like a pretty good way now that you explain it like that. Sure, let's try it out for a little while. I could also see it turning into like a symbol of commitment to each other and wanting to spend time with each other. If we are investing in the time that we spend with each other, then maybe if the payments roll over into the next month, we could keep doing bigger and bigger things with each other. We do need to go on a bigger trip. And maybe this would help with holiday presents or gifts, too.
Sounds good. I like where you're going with it. But for tonight, I'll cover dinner because you already got the tickets. We'll look into establishing that separate fund for next month, maybe.
Sarah! It's been a while since we have spoken last. How have you been? It has been okay. I have been really busy, so I am really sorry that we haven't been able to meet up. You must have forgotten what I look like by now. Honestly, a little. We've both been crazy busy with work. Oh, I don't want to forget, so I will give this to you now. I have something for you. Take this. What is this? Could it be... It's an invitation for you. We got them all printed out and ready to ship away. I wanted to give this one to you in person. Wow, the invitations are already ready. Everything is happening so fast. I will also send you a digital version so you can pull it up on your phone. But this printed one has that photo on it that I really like, so I wanted to show you that one in person too. Of course! The design on it also came out really well. I am impressed. You're really one of my closest friends. So before I even knew anything else about the invitation, I wanted to show it to you first. Aw, why me? Just tell me a time and day and I will be wherever you need me to be. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than your wedding. Of course I couldn't just summon you the day of. We need to be more formal about this now. Thank you. Has the planning for the wedding been going okay? I think so. Everything is getting handled pretty comfortably. But we decided that we would plan everything about half and half. So we've had to spend a lot of time compromising on who plans what. Have you already moved in with Isaac? Oh, yes. Luckily, my single room that I had leased out was coming up on its term, so I was able to transition pretty quickly and not be tied down. I thought that signing another lease would have made our relationship a bit awkward, so we decided that it would be best if I moved in with him as soon as I could. You guys have been doing this half and half thing since back when you started dating. Are you having any issues at his house? Problems at the house? Like me being moved in with him? Everything has been going all right, I think. I was able to move everything I needed into his place fine. Yeah, I had thought that you would want to move in together to a new house after your wedding. That hasn't happened yet? No, it hasn't. But it did come up a few times after I had moved in with him. I decided that I will pay for half of the house when that happens. I don't mind having to move in with him in the house that he already has. It was pretty expensive, so he wants to keep it going in the family. Oh, really? That sounds a bit confusing. Yeah, it's not too bad. The deposit on my last apartment has come back into my hands, and it's not like I don't have any money from working, so I have just been sending it all to Isaac in order to pay for things. But there are some things that I am not willing to do, so I have been pushing them off until we absolutely have to deal with them. Not willing to do? Like what? Is there a problem that you're holding off on? I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about, but the loan on Isaac's house has gone over 55%. If I would contribute my half to that amount, then surely I would be in some trouble myself. Well, you could look at it like that. I'm not sure I would. You don't seem to agree with that. Do you think I'm looking at it the wrong way? I haven't had too many to consult about it. I'm kind of just doing this out of my own judgment. Of course not. Not that you're looking at it the wrong way, but I am wondering if you want to be going about your marriage by cutting your lives down the middle. Does everything have to be half and half? It doesn't seem like life actually ever works like that. There will always be sacrifices that either person will have to make. Right? I seem to be thinking the same thing lately. I do think that it is the most fair thing to do, but I do doubt sometimes if it is completely necessary to the extent that he takes it. We've been thinking about all of your milestones in very calculated ways. It keeps rubbing me the wrong way. Yeah, I agree that it is the best to be fair and reasonable. However, you've been bringing this up ever since you two started dating. Challenging the true intentions of the dating funds and debating whether it has been a good idea or not. Wondering if the dating fund is actually any different than trying to split everything in half anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Back when I had agreed to the dating fund, we hadn't been using it for all that long, and I couldn't see how it had affected anything yet. Do you think that it has changed? Maybe some hindsight has given you some more time to look back on it. I mean, we both put in the same amount to the dating fund at the beginning of every month. I had thought that it was quite useful at the beginning. It seemed very reasonable. But now I am wondering if that is how we should be handling things. For example, I have been doubting if Isaac eats the same whether we go out using that dating fund or not. He can be a really big eater. Sometimes we'll go to a fancier restaurant and he'll end up eating for 2 or 3 people while I am over here eating for 1. How could he do that and then expect us to pay fairly at the end? It seems like I pay for him to eat while he gets to use the fairness card to justify it. That does make sense now that you've explained it like that. I might have looked at it the same way if I was in your shoes. It's happened time and time again. It's starting to get petty. I can't just keep getting swindled into spending all that money on him. So I ended up confronting him about it and suggested that we stop doing the shared fund. What did he say about that? It seems like you were really starting to stand your ground. We had fought about it again. He kept bringing up that we needed to handle it fairly, and that's why it is the best method. He kept phrasing it as something that was working well. I told him that it had never actually seemed fair to me, but he turned around and called me a glutton for it. And then he told me that I should drop it. What? You? The deliverer of all things good? Is he not the one eating everything and then turning it all back on you somehow? Jeez. That's what I'm saying. A few days ago, we actually got into a fight over it. I thought that every time we eat together, it turns into an argument. Even when we would go on dates, this whole dating fund came about after we started to get into an argument. I don't think he ever tries to see it from my perspective. I mean, all couples can learn more and more about each other through that kind of fighting. You've never even been married before. How could you come to that kind of wise conclusion? You're getting really good at giving me helpful advice. I have been with you the whole time while you two were dating and then now getting married. Your patterns have started to become quite obvious, at least from the outside looking in. There was no way to know if it all would turn out all right in the end or not, though. Yeah, that's true. I had been frustrated by how he talks about it and wanted to say something back to him, but I wanted to wait a few days to think about the most mature way to confront him about it. You shouldn't want to say anything back to him. There are good parts within every marriage, right? Of course there is. When we are both at work all day and keep up with each other, and adding in the occasional date night or something we do on the weekend, our lives together go pretty smoothly. I like his democratic outlook. It's just that maybe I can be protective of my future, and my money, and my family, so I have to stand up for myself sometimes. Other than that, I would say that our personalities match pretty well. We are both with the times and are moving away from anything too traditional. That is a part of why it was so easy to agree to move into marriage with him. We aren't being boarded up by any traditional thinking that our families may have expected from us. I like it. Then try to focus on those things, and I am sure that everything will work out in the end for you two. It seems like you can see the relationship from both the inside and outside, and that gives you a great perspective shift when you get into arguments or need to act as your own mediator. I shall try to do that. No matter how hard I have focused on the negative lately, I always have the good days in the back of my mind. So I guess that means there is more hope. I am glad that we can get together and I can just spill what I have been thinking onto you. You have been a great help with my self-doubt. We will be fine. Hi, Mom. Is everything all right?
Nothing is wrong. Do I need something to go wrong in order to call my favorite daughter?
Of course not. I am always happy when you call.
Hasn't it been a while since we've seen each other? Ever since you had been away for work and started getting more serious with Isaac, I feel like we don't see you around here too often.
Yeah, just because of the areas that we both live in and because I have to travel even further away for work. It is quite far away. I've been thinking that we should have dinner together again sometime.
You should have come to my house for the holidays. I can make you everything that you've been missing. I know that you miss the food that we make for the holidays. I should start getting the list ready so that you have something to look forward to.
It sounds like it'll be good. I miss growing up and being able to have all of your food whenever I wanted. It didn't feel so monumental, but now it feels like a special occasion whenever I get to have anything that you make.
You should bring your husband this time, too. I don't think that we've all sat down and had a good meal with him, and let alone at the house.
My husband? Calling him my husband so quickly sounds weird to me still. It's moving fast, but I still feel the same to him as I always have.
Everything is happening quickly, though. You sent out all of the invitations, so now I feel inclined to call him my son-in-law.
You can, and I shall tell him that we should go together to yours for the holidays this year.
I wonder what I should make him that he will like. Does he like anything specific? Maybe something that his family makes and that he'd like to have with us?
He doesn't like anything specific. He eats everything.
That's good. I shall update you on what I am making when the time gets closer.
Thank you. I will let him know that we should stop there for the holidays. He will be happy to sit down with you and catch up.
Right. I actually wanted to call you to talk about your apartment.
What do you mean? What apartment?
The apartment that we have come into possession of from your grandmother.
Oh, that one. But I had ended up getting a different apartment because that one was far away from my company. Is that one still open? Why do we still have it?
It was really supposed to be yours all along, so I wanted to bring it up to you again. It seems like we were putting off talking about it, so I wanted to bring it up again and talk about what you want to do with it. Do you really think that we should just sell it?
Oh, I didn't think that you were still worrying about it. Yes, I think that doing away with it would be the better plan.
It was yours to have, so I didn't want to do anything with it until you decided. Ah, you are getting married so soon.
Yeah, I'm going to be moving in with Isaac anyway, so I think that we should cut ties with it.
That halfsies marriage that you've brought up with him, is it because of that?
Yes, we decided that I would move in with him and we would start our marriage in that house. So there won't be a need to have that apartment anymore.
I know we have talked about it before, but I just want to let you know again that I am not too fond of that halfsies mentality when it comes to marriage. I mean, I don't mind that you are preparing everything half and half, but to have him push that everything needs to be cut in half without any flexibility seems to be unrealistic.
I mean, where on this earth is there someone that only has green flags? I was uncomfortable with it in the beginning, yes, but he has actually been very reasonable and rational about everything that we do, so I don't mind it anymore.
Well, if you are okay with that.
Yes, so I think that we can go ahead and figure out what needs to be done with that apartment in order to get rid of it. I don't want to hold on to something that I know I won't need given the present situation. Unless you'd want to keep it for yourself and maybe see if someone else in the family might need it for something in the future.
It seems like such a shame to get rid of it, though. Don't make any rash decisions. I will hold on to it for a little while longer. If it is the case that you need money from it, I will figure out a way to lend you some money. I don't want to hold on to it myself, knowing it is your right to have it. You can decide to use the money that you sell it for if you need to put it down on something else as well.
Of course not. I do have money. I am able to fund everything that I need for our marriage. We don't need money from that apartment. Rather, we are fitting the marriage and wedding to our current scope that we are willing to handle, and then we are cutting that in half.
Okay, I guess there is nothing that I can do if you have already made up your mind. Do what you think is right.
But I will think more about what you said, about the apartment.
Okay, I am fine with that.
Hello? Is everything okay? I saw that you called me quite a few times.
Yes, I called a few times before. How could you see my calls go through and not pick up?
Well, I am in the office right now. I was in a meeting and couldn't pick up the phone for you.
You always say that, you know. If someone else could hear what you talk about, they would think that all you do is work for that company.
It hasn't been very long since I have gotten my promotion, so I have still been busy adjusting.
Hey now, everyone is trying to get paid more. Don't try to boast about what you've been doing. If you try and hold your promotion over everyone's head, won't you make Isaac upset? Try and be more considerate. He will be getting a promotion soon, too.
Sure. I will keep that in mind. I know that Isaac works very hard. There will be a time where we see that happen, because we saw it happen with me. Who would get a higher salary just by sitting and staying quiet?
Huh, why do you keep one-upping me? You don't know how to just take a loss.
I'm not trying to say anything bad. Anyways, did you have something that you wanted to talk about? Why did you call so many times? Is there something urgent that you need to talk about?
I wanted to call and ask about a problem with your marriage.
Our marriage? What problem?
Yes, I was waiting for you two to talk with each other and start planning everything out. About the wedding plan and fees. I hope your family is putting up enough to make it a nice wedding. I sure do have high expectations. You realize a gift for the mother of the groom would also be in order.
What? The wedding budget? Why do you suddenly want to talk about that?
What do you mean, suddenly? Are you saying that you have already talked about it and I just haven't received it yet?
It's not that, but we decided to pay for our relationship half and half between the two of us a long time ago, and we're planning on doing the same for our wedding. It won't be that glamorous if that's what you're expecting.
So you're saying that in order to do this half and half, you're having a cheap wedding? It's such a shame you can't respect tradition.
What?
The wedding! And who pays for it? is a very important aspect of marriage. It's been that day for all of history. Why have you decided that you can just look past that? You're going to be united in marriage. The wedding means something. The bride's side pays for the entire wedding. That's tradition. It's symbolic. Do you understand? Isn't that not an essential part of showing the family that you are committed to their son? Have you not talked about this with Isaac?
Oh, my mom did bring that up, but I dismissed it right away.
What? Why would you dismiss it?
Because it is my marriage and not my family's. I mean, times have changed and each couple decides what kind of wedding and marriage they want.
We have talked about this already. Do you think that a marriage is only between the two people actually getting married?
Isaac and I had decided long ago that we would get married for and by ourselves, so there is no need to interfere between two adults that want to get married out of their own volition and happiness. Besides, Isaac was the one that suggested doing everything half and half from the point that we started dating. Did you know that? It was something that even I was hesitant about, but he insisted that it was the best way to go about things. This whole time that we have been together, we have been paying for everything half and half, and he has justified it by being more reasonable and more effective that way. So we have pushed that thinking into the marriage as well.
What are you saying?
So we don't want to do anything that can't be reciprocated by the other person. We have already arrived at our decision about that. If you have any questions about it, I think that you should talk to Isaac about it and not me.
Why? You're saying that the wedding isn't something that can be handled by your side of the family?
Yes, we think that way.
You're entering a new marriage, but you're saying that you won't do something that benefits the family. I am all for being reasonable and fair between two people, but this isn't something that you just let go of so lightly. It is marriage. There is a legal aspect to it.
Well, if you keep pushing it, don't you think that is going to hurt Isaac?
What do you mean?
That traditional thinking that you have. Don't you think that it should be reflected with Isaac's house loan payments as well?
What do you mean? The house? You're the one that is moving into Isaac's home. How could you say something so stupid after getting to move into a brand new home for your marriage?
Hey, don't you know that his loans have surpassed 55%? How could that be called moving into a brand new home? We have decided that I would even be contributing to those loans. I promised that I would be paying my half of it. If I was really taking advantage of him like you say, I wouldn't be paying for any of it.
Hey, look, where in this country can you find a brand new home that doesn't put you in a little debt?
I understand that. That is why I asked Isaac to not make any unreasonable suggestions about where we were going to move in together. The real estate has really changed since you might have had to look for somewhere to live. So I don't think that we should be making any unreasonable demands considering how expensive everything has gotten. If you want to talk about this anymore, I suggest that you talk to Isaac about it.
What would I talk to him about?
About your concerns with how we pay for the wedding. I can talk to him about it too, but you should call him to speak with him directly.
You're going to tell him about this?
Why wouldn't I? A couple that is going to get married should be able to discuss these kinds of things together.
How could you do that?
I really have to go back to work now. I will talk to you later. I apologize for not having more time.
What? Hello?
Your mother called me today. We ended up talking for quite a while.
Oh, about what?
That my family should be paying for the entire cost of the wedding. She wants a fancy gift and a flashy wedding, it seems. I thought that we were deciding against that. I didn't know what to say to her. She just kept insisting and insisting that I had been thinking about this all in the wrong way.
Huh? Why is she suddenly talking about our wedding finances? What could have made her bring that up?
Oh, thank goodness that you thought that was sort of strange as well. I didn't know what I was going to do if you hadn't agreed with me on it. We would have gotten into another argument.
What do you mean?
I was worried that you may side with your mother and say you want me to ask my family to pay for our wedding. It wouldn't be very fair to me, I think. With that whole half and half thing that we decided on, I didn't think that was ever going to come up. So I am happy that you see it that way too.
Oh, really? When did I say that?
What? Why are you being like that?
I mean, I haven't thought at all about wedding traditions, but now that it has come up, I may need to think about it.
What? Why are you bringing up tradition? I thought that we settled this a long time ago.
Is it not? Weddings are a ceremony based on tradition, so maybe this is a different situation from our costs of living arrangement. It is a union of two families after all. Your family should show some sort of gesture to my family. Gifts are definitely a must. Maybe a dowry?
Where in this country has anyone had to pay a dowry? What? Are you thinking gold or goats? I can't believe you would even mention a dowry. You realize this is the 21st century. The world has changed from that kind of thing.
But there are still some things that are traditional. Is a marriage itself not tradition, and all the legality involved with it?
If you keep wanting to follow tradition, should I start bringing tradition into this too? Have you thought about this from anyone else's perspective than your own? Tradition happens from both sides, you know.
What kind of things would you want to bring in?
If we were to follow tradition, then you would have to prepare a house and I would only have to prepare for the wedding.
This is my house. This is in my family, and it will stay that way.
I told your mother about the house as well. I mentioned the fact that a house shouldn't be buried in loans when you begin living in it. This house we are in right now belongs more to the bank than it does to us.
Do you think that any person can get a loan taken out for a house? It all came from my credit in my workplace. It is all my intangible assets.
Why are you getting mad about this? You're the one saying that we should follow tradition now. You can't just go back on everything that you have made me agree on when it is convenient for you.
Because you're saying things that are ridiculous.
Does it not make sense with what you are suggesting? If you want to follow tradition, then that is the tradition. If you're allowing tradition to benefit you, why are you not insisting that it should benefit me too? We have been using your fairness philosophy since we were dating and now in the marriage. So I think that is what you need to explain yourself to your mother. I shouldn't be the only one that has to pay for the wedding or some extravagant gift for your mother.
Well, all right. I'll talk about it with my mother. Did she say anything else?
No. That was all that she wanted to talk about. I thought that this would have ended easier between us, but I guess nothing ever can. We can talk about it again later.
Ugh, fine. Honey, what is it?
What? Oh, it's a sales contract.
A sales contract for what?
I mentioned that I had an apartment. I ended up selling it.
What? Why would you sell that apartment without talking to me about it first?
Why would I have to tell you first? It was my property, so I decided that I could sell it myself. I just talked to a realtor and have it sold officially all by myself. Of course I told my parents about it.
What? You should have told me. How could you be handling such a large amount of money and not get permission from me first?
Permission? What are you saying? It is my asset, and so I am able to handle it myself. Why would I have to let you in on every transaction I make? Permission from who? From you? Why would I have to get permission from you instead of my parents?
Oh, stop trying to twist my words.
I'm not trying to twist your words. I am talking about getting permission from my parents. I talked to them about how I view the apartments and we settled it like that. But why would I have to say whatever to you in order to get permission?
Well, it's fine. I said the wrong thing. It's not getting permission, but I'm just saying, we should have discussed it. We're partners now. Shouldn't we be discussing big things like this together? Moreover, we're partners. There aren't my assets or your assets. We need to handle everything as if they're joint assets.
What are you trying to say? No matter our legal partnership, we have always had everything split down the middle. You have your assets and I have mine. Are we not trying to transfer that thinking into our marriage as well? I have been hearing the whole time that this is how you wanted to do things. Why has it changed all of a sudden?
What do you mean? It's not that. When people are partners, money becomes a joint right and thus a point for joint discussion.
Who does that? Plus, that is not being fair.
What? Unfair? How can a partnership be unfair?
The more that we grow together as partners, the more we need to establish boundaries and be fair. Why are you trying to change your approach to this all of a sudden? It isn't like you.
What do you mean?
Besides, we have another thing that we need to touch on.
What?
We aren't even partners yet. Don't cross a line.
What, cross a line? Me?
Yes. The contract and other complex problems like this keep coming up, and I ended up having to move in with you. But that doesn't make us automatically partners. We haven't had the wedding, and we haven't made it official in contract that we are getting married. So if I were to leave this house, there isn't anything that I would have to come back for. Keep that in mind.
Sarah, why are you saying this?
Living together has always been a stereotypical view of marriage, but it has always been a disadvantage for the woman involved. So, don't say anything like that for now. I don't want to be at the brunt end of any agreements.
Why are we getting so serious all of a sudden? Fine, we'll call it how you want it, but we are not partners yet. But we are getting ready to be partners. Can we not say that? Given the context, why are you making such rash decisions about your assets? You didn't think it was going to be a problem. It's a problem that you didn't talk to me about selling the apartment before. I would have wanted to help you. Plus, the fact that you sold it for dirt cheap is also a problem.
Who says that I don't know what I'm doing? I got what I thought was right for it. I can do that just fine myself. Who can tell me that I did a bad job for doing what I thought was right? Just looking at the places we work at, you can see that. I got a promotion faster than you did. And I even make more than you do now.
Why do you want to talk about our salaries now? Are you trying to slap me?
Who said I wanted to do that? Given the current situation, I just wanted to make it clear that I am not doing worse off than you. Why do you feel like you can treat people like this?
No matter how well off you are, there is always a man that can do this kind of stuff better.
We're talking about how I have the right to handle my assets myself. When did you turn this into a problem about men and women?
Even this apartment was just some small place in the countryside. Do you think that they would look at a young woman and give her what the place deserved? Why would they do that?
What? The apartment wasn't that run down. Who could say that it was just something to throw away?
That's not what I'm saying. I phrased that wrong. Whatever, you wouldn't stand a chance against a good realtor, even in a small city.
Ugh, the fact that you were calling this place worthless. We were given this place from our grandmother. Did you think that you were criticizing something that I invested in?
What? What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Whatever. We need to think about some things now.
What? What are you saying that we need to think about?
I don't think that I want to stay here tonight. I'm going to go out and stay at a friend's house. I think it would be best if you thought about what we've talked about today without me here.
Hey now, oh wait a second. You're just gonna leave like this?
I need to arrange my thoughts.
Oh, we should have talked it over then.
I don't want to. Stop trying to keep this argument going.
Sarah?
Hello? You really have no intention of picking up on my first call. You really should try to pick up faster. Sure. Is everything all right? Where are you right now? What? Right now? I'm at work. I work every weekday at this time. Not that. Where are you staying right now? Isaac told me that you two were fighting, so that you haven't been at home lately. Oh, yes. Did you talk to Isaac about what happened? Why would I listen to something regarding you two that doesn't matter? Should I ask him what happened then? No, I don't mean that. So Isaac and I had a fight over some things that we were disagreeing about. So right now I am at a friend's house thinking everything over. But it has already been a few days now. You can't just stay out that long as a woman. You need to go home. What could have made you so mad that you needed to pack your bags and leave him there? Who does that when they are married? No matter how hard things are, you need to swallow your pride and stay with your husband. As you get older, Isaac will always be older than you, so you should learn to listen to him. All right? Did you hear anything about why we were fighting?
I know it was about the wedding costs and who pays. It is pretty obvious. If you are going to be my daughter-in-law, you will need to learn how to control your mouth. These things that we talk about, you and I, don't always need to be argued about with Isaac. Haven't you realized that yet?
What? Why? That whole argument was related to our marriage. It was obviously something that needed to be discussed.
Fine, I get it. I get where you are coming from. Now you need to stop protesting and get back home to Isaac. If he doesn't have you at home, how is he going to eat anything?
What? You're starting to say some strange things about me. Do you think that getting married to Isaac is all about being able to find someone that can feed him every night? That is all that my role is going to be? So Isaac wasn't eating anything while he was living alone?
Look, why are you trying to twist everything that I am saying? Have you already forgotten about your half and half agreement? I heard all about that. Are you not on dinner duty? So you are just trying to make his life harder by skipping out on your duties to him. You're insisting on splitting the cost of the wedding with Isaac, right? So isn't going back to being fair how you are going to be dealing with your marriage? So is this not something worthy to be talked about? Oh, the world has changed so much, but you still aren't willing to put the work in to actually make it equal. I guess I am going to have to put up with this. This is going to be great.
You're being quite aggressive about this.
How am I being aggressive? You're the one being stubborn and aggressive.
Me? What have I done?
Not to me, to Isaac. What have you thought and not thought about in regards to him? If you were to get married, then you surely will have to deal with the joint ownership and have to deal with the responsibilities that come with that. But you still decided to go out and sell that.
What? What are you referring to?
That really tiny apartment that was under your name. That was in your possession, wasn't it? No matter how small and run down it was, you decided that you could do that all by yourself. That is something that you need to handle as partners. You need to ask and consult that with your husband. Why didn't you do that?
That is my personal asset. It was put into my possession from my grandmother. Not even my parents could interfere in the legality of that asset and its relationship to me. I am obviously able to do whatever I want with a personal asset. I don't know why you or Isaac are making such a big deal about this.
How could you be saying that I am the one making this a big deal?
You know you are. If you haven't, why have you been talking with Isaac about it? There's no reason for you two to have discussed anything about it. I don't know why I have to sit here and listen to this from you.
What do you think about you and Isaac becoming a partnership? Obviously, men and women have different roles when it comes to marriage. That economic responsibility should be the man, and that means you have to discuss your financial matters with Isaac. You are becoming confronted about this now because you didn't discuss it with him. You just went behind your future husband's back and did as you please without consulting him. Sitting there explaining why you can't pay for the wedding and arguing why all of this isn't fair to you. I just don't feel you're serious about this marriage at all. There's no commitment.
That is really weird of you to say to me. Besides, the fair and just argument was started by Isaac. But after we decided that we were going to get married and started living together, everything that he said started to get less and less fair.
What do you mean?
I really respected Isaac's beliefs, but I didn't know it was going to turn out like this. I can't keep interpreting whatever Isaac says as something good anymore. I don't want to accept the Fairness Act anymore. I quit.
What? Are you saying that you want to break up with him?
Yes, I am going to talk to Isaac about this on my own.
What? Do you think that canceling this marriage is this easy? You already sent out all of the invitations. Why has everything changed now?
I think that canceling the wedding and breaking off the engagement will be the easiest thing that I have had to do in this nightmare with your family.
Wait a second!
You told my mom that we're going to end our engagement?
She already called you about it?
Don't try and stir the conversation away from it. Are you really trying to end the engagement?
Yeah, she's right. I don't want to live my life with you anymore.
You're really immature. This is ridiculous. You're saying that one disagreement we had is ending and calling off our engagement? Sarah, do you think that marriage is going to be easy? Do you think calling off an engagement like this is going to be easy for us all?
Does it look like I am handling this lightly? I am not joking. I am being serious.
You need to consider the context and at least try to establish a solution. What is it exactly that you're doing right now?
Do you think anything came out of that conversation we had? You were arguing for complete adherence to tradition, but before you were arguing for our entire relationship to be reasonable. Do you think those things together make this seem fair to me at all?
Everyone else does this.
I was choosing to live differently than everyone else by marrying you.
What do you mean?
Your whole philosophy on dating fairly. That was the whole belief that has led our relationship. I ended up finding a way to enjoy that, so I was ready to marry you under the same conditions. But now you are not following those conditions in the original way you had been. The more I look at how this is turning out, the more I think I have made the mistake to try in the first place. I have learned that much from this experience.
Do you think getting out of this relationship is going to help you? Don't you know the woman in the engagement usually ends up worse than the man after it's called off? On top of that, you ended up selling that run-down apartment, so you don't have anywhere to live in. Where are you going to live knowing how you're acting right now?
So the woman takes the hardest hit? What do you mean the way that I am acting right now? Is this the 1800s? Why are you saying such outdated things about women? Besides, I am the one taking the biggest blow. Have you looked at your own situation? You had given me no benefit in trying to marry me. I chose you myself. Looking at you right now, I think I have made the wrong choice.
What? I am the wrong choice? Are you done?
Yep, I'm done.
Sarah, do you have no concept of the economy? How money works? Do you think that ending the engagement is going to help you? Are you out of your mind? Do your parents know about this? I don't understand how you could come to this decision.
Aw, thank you for caring about my parents. But they already know about this, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Hey, Sarah, did I say anything wrong? Yes, my mom brought up how the bride's side traditionally pays for the wedding, but then I went against her and decided to side with you. Do you not think that I was being sincere? You don't even have to give her a gift. And that apartment, you were the one to only discuss it with your parents and leave me out of it. That was your own fault. So why are you trying to say that it's mine now?
You still can't let go of that apartment. I really don't have anything else to say.
I am right, so you better have something to say about it. You're trying to get rid of me? You have no concept of the economy, so it seems like I'm really the one to get rid of you. Do you understand that?
So you are accepting the fact that I want to end the engagement? Thank goodness, because I have nothing else to say. Wait, I do have one more thing to say. I had been thinking that you and my parents may have had a misunderstanding.
About what?
About that apartment. The one you keep thinking that was good for nothing out in the country in some remote city. About that. It was an apartment that was handed down from my grandmother.
What about it?
Our grandmother is quite infamous in that area. You kept dismissing it as some rundown apartment, but she wasn't someone to have that kind of thing in her possession.
You think that nameless apartment building would have anything good in it?
Who said that?
What do you mean?
The apartment is in the middle of one of the most populated cities in America.
You don't have to lie if it's not.
Why would I have to lie about that?
Then why did you give it up to find another apartment?
It was far away from my workplace. That was it.
What?
What do you mean? Do you think it is calculated differently? Do you know how much apartments go for these days?
No, of course not.
Of course not. I can hear the money cashing in right now. Well, if you're curious, I will let you know how much I got from it. The price really went up when I went to cash it out. I think it was about $500K.
What?
How are you surprised by that? Oh, I think it is more expensive than your place right now.
That's probably why. Don't try to compare it so much to this place. If you hadn't sung your half and half philosophy so loud and proud, then maybe we would have gone into that apartment instead. I had thought about moving into that apartment this whole time, but you had pushed it on me from the very beginning. As you say, exactly, half and half, always. Won't living completely equal solve all of our problems? I really respected it. I had agreed. So I had sold this apartment by myself.
Why do you think that this is something important to say right now?
What part? The location, the price? Why is it so important? If we were going to be half and half anyway, should I have brought the same amount to the marriage that you were?
Sarah, can't we just start over?
What would be different? I liked your half and half mentality.
Well, sure, but let's relax for a second. Let's start talking about this from the beginning again.
What do we have to talk about? I don't have anything else to say to you.
Sarah.
Why would I want a man that only changes his mind after being introduced to some expensive asset that his wife may have? Besides, did you just agree to calling off the engagement?
Hey, at first I just said that out of spite.
You shouldn't do anything out of spite.
Sarah, I'm really sorry.
I'll act like I didn't hear that. Let's agree to not see each other again.
Sarah?
At the beginning of my 30s, I was the average woman. I agreed to marry a man that I had been dating for 4 years prior. But when I think about it now, I was very confused at the way that he wanted to date me, and it seemed out of the ordinary even with my progressive outlook. He argued that we should always do everything completely equal. He suggested that we both contribute to a date fund with his justification that it was the most fair system we could put into place. He persuaded me at the beginning, and I ended up agreeing. But as time went on, I started to think differently about that date fund system and came to the conclusion that it actually wasn't very fair at all. Even thinking this, I just disregarded any inconvenience we had related to it while we were dating. We would always find a way to resolve our problems through conversation. Naturally, we ended up deciding that we would get married after a while. Of course, the marriage would also be very equal. I had an expensive apartment in a bigger city waiting for me, but because we were going to run our marriage as equal as possible, I didn't think anything of it. I was ready to commit to his philosophy. But he ended up getting mad about me not informing him that I would get rid of the apartment, even though it was my personal asset. On top of that, using antiquated traditional beliefs as her justification, his mother started to coerce me into paying for the entire ceremony. He had wanted to stay as equal as possible, but now wanted me to follow tradition. He was fine with me paying his loan, but he still wanted to follow other traditional gender roles, so there was a big contradiction on his end. He would say that we need to operate equally when it benefited him, but that was okay with being traditional and not equal when it only benefited me. I don't want to try and understand that philosophy anymore, so I ended up calling off the engagement. In the very end, his mother and him kept degrading the apartment and saying that I was holding it over their heads. But it was a slap in the face for him when he found out that it was the exact opposite, and that the apartment was sold for over $500K in my name. I keep getting phone calls from them asking if I would ever reconsider. But I have to say, I don't feel sorry for them. It was especially difficult for them to accept that I could just have all of that money from the apartment and then turn my back on them. We had already sent out the wedding invitations, but I think that calling off an engagement is easier than going through a divorce. So I hope to settle into my new life separated from him. Thank you for listening to this story. Thank you for lending an ear to my story. It means more than you know. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.